coordinator contact troop leaders first and say, here's someone for you to call. And I think they prefer that because otherwise, they might get bombarded with emails or calls. And again, if there's a reason why they, can't take that child into their troop, let's say maybe they forgot to take themselves out of the opportunity catalog, right? Maybe they decided, okay, I think our troop is good now, we're full, and they just forgot to take an action or something, then they might accidentally get people contacting them. So I think this sounds like a good process. It's kind of similar to the one we're following today.
Okay. So I'd also like to welcome Bonnie Dickerson. And Bonnie, I just got a request to make you presenter, and I'm just confirming that maybe that was an accidental push of a button, or is there something you want to show us? You might be on mute. Okay, I think she may have accidentally pushed that button. Okay, so I'm just going to stop for a moment. Janet, are there any other questions you have about that initial process?
I don't have any. That seems pretty straightforward, and yeah, I think this sounds, so far it sounds good. And I feel like it's really going to help take off. Like, I just know the kind of workload I get from, and maybe mine's a little bit, skewed because we have such a large service unit. But, I get a lot of requests, and then I have to take human time to pair those people up. And so I feel like this is going to be a huge time saver for me. It may not be for everybody if you don't have a wait list of 300 kids. But this is going to be huge for me because then it just takes out the human element of having to do the matching. And that alone is going to be helpful. Plus, one of the things Deanna Nolan and I spend a ton of time trying to do is try and get troops to tell us how many openings you have. Are you willing to take girls? And it's constantly a moving target because we are never sure how many girls they're willing to take or if they're done. This is going to put this back in their hands and hopefully get them really just stating up front, this is how many I have, and then automating some of this process. I think it's going to be a lot smoother because I honestly, I feel terrible, but I have a full-time job. I run a company, and I'm real busy. But I will tell you, I have so many people who are contacting me, and I can't always get back to them immediately. I can't always place them immediately, and I feel terrible about that because I want to strike while the iron's hot and get them into a troop and get them excited about Girl Scouting, but at the same time, I'm just really limited. So this is going to, I think, make my job better and help me be able to focus my efforts on where they're best spent, which is, not necessarily pairing troops and doing some of the things that could be automated. So I have to say, I was really skeptical coming into this because, like I said, I'm not thrilled with Salesforce in general, using it as a business tool. But so skeptical, but everything you shared, very positive about it.
Great. All right. That's awesome to hear. And let's see, so Bonnie says she cannot hear anything. I'll give her the phone number really quick. Okay. All right. So the next piece is about, it goes a little bit more into the process of updating the information and making sure that we do have the most up-to-date, both like from a meeting location and programming standpoint, but also how many spots are needed, because that is an ever-changing piece. So, right, the main difference is going to be this pre-CEI change. So from now until May, and then after, we go on to the new system in mid to late June. So creating the new system, migrating databases, and Janet, I'm sure you understand this, is really tricky and complicated and is not going to be a clean switch. So the staff are going through this manual download of every troop in the eBiz system and updating it based on the responses we're getting from the troop leaders to all of our emails. So, you know, just got to keep pushing that as much as you can, reminding co-leaders and the whole network to respond to those emails and make sure that staff has the latest and the greatest.
Hey, Megan, real quick, I have a quick question for you. You know, certainly I think our service unit people can help in that effort, but I will tell you that one of the challenges we have, and I don't know if there's a way that Kay can help us with this, but, you know, I get the roster every week, right, the membership roster, and the problem is my understanding of that membership roster is that a troop may not show in the membership roster if they have not updated their meeting information. So what that means is I can't always see, if that's really true, I can't see all the troops at any given time to know if somebody's really active and if they've updated or not. Is there any way for us to get a list of whoever you don't have meeting information for, just even the troop numbers, because we could certainly do some personal outreach effort ourselves because we know some of these people personally to try and get them to do it?
Yeah, I will ask Kay that. I can't see why not, and maybe even that policy could be lifted for the purposes of, you know, getting everyone's information, or maybe she can create a separate report. So I'll make a note to ask Kay about that. Awesome. Yeah, we want to get that word out and get as much help as we can. So we also have added a form onto, so we've got the staff sending emails and links to surveys, and then we've also posted it on our website, and I'll show you that real quick. It's on the CEI webpage. It's this big green button, update your troop information here. So they do have to scroll down a little bit from that video, and just takes them to a Google form, and they can update it there. Oh, and then in the future, in the next, so after we're on the new system, when troop leaders or co-leaders will be able to submit requests to update their information via the membership community. This will be something that staff controls. So service unit teams won't be able to update the opportunity catalog information for other troops. But, you know, troop co-leaders will be able to either, you know, use their membership community tab, will be able to run reports and update it based on those requests, or of course they can contact us directly. And then there will be certain points throughout the year, like prior to renewal especially, where we'll have staff reach out and ask, you know, do you have everything you need? Do you need us to make a catalog?
Okay, one other question about that really quickly. So service units don't have access to actually updating the opportunity catalog on behalf of troops, but can we at least see the information on a service unit level?
Yes, there are service unit reports that are being put together. And so, but let me clarify. So are you wanting to know what all of the, like what's being shown in the opportunity catalog for all of your troops?
Yeah, in part because this is what I think is going to happen. We got a lot of people right now who don't use eBiz and have never logged into it. So one of the things, as an example, I do every year right before cookie time, because I know that there are girls that are coming to meetings actively participating whose registration has never gone through. And so for whatever reason, they lost the paperwork, they never signed up online, whatever, and the troop leader is unaware because they never go into eBiz like they should. But in part, that's in part, quite frankly, training. Like when we do things like, as an example, new leader orientation, we don't go. So I think a lot of people just are lost. Okay, so now that we're to change, no problem. Let's put that behind us. But I think there are a lot of people who are real confused and don't know what to do. So what I do in December, as an example, is I'll go through and look and see who has here's your roster, let me send you your roster, because they just don't know. So I just want to make sure that all these people with the confusion that I think they're going to face, whether they've used eBiz or not, and they're making the transition or it's just new for them, is that they know they can do this. I'm like being really clear. So if we see troops that aren't taking people, even just confirming with them, hey, just saw that you guys aren't in the volunteer or the opportunity catalog. Is that what you meant to do? Just want to make sure, because if that's okay, just want to make sure. Or if you need help with it, let us know, because otherwise I fear that they just won't take the time, or they might forget, or they might get it wrong. So I just want to try and help them through that transition.
Gotcha. All right, I'm making a note to confirm that.
So mostly what I would like to see is just, like the list of troops in the service unit, which ones are in the opportunity catalog, and primarily what their top number of girls is going to be, and then what if they're accepting new members, that kind of thing, if they're in the volunteer opportunity or the opportunity catalog, and that way I just have a gauge on it, and I know all these leaders, so I can call on and just make sure that they feel comfortable in case they just didn't see an email or whatever.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I will. I know there are I know that they've been creating specific service unit reports. So and then there's also reports that the staff will be putting together and sending out to leadership. So I'll confirm that specific information is available as well. Okay, so for ongoing catalog management, again, so for right now, we're creating that initial baseline, and from then on, that will be the information for each troop. But afterwards, the system will we'll never have to go through that much work to get everyone's information. And to your point, Janet, about how painful eBiz is, I know that's part of the problem, is that right now there are a lot of people who won't touch it for especially for troop management purposes. And I know Jody and Kay are working hard to streamline the program and event registration piece. So hopefully we're working them off of the eBiz system. So the system will automatically track the numbers and will also age the troops. So on July 1st of every year, it will automatically age up the troop. So if it's grade 2, and then they'll move it up to grade 3 with the girls. And by automatically tracking the numbers, I mean that if a troop has told us that they will take 8 girls and they currently have 6, once 2 register, the system knows that now they've reached their minimum, and it will remove them from the opportunity catalog. Similarly, if at the end of renewal the co-leaders only renew 5 of the girls, then the system will know to open up 3 spots on October 1st. And as I mentioned earlier, troop co-leaders will be able to request updates at any time throughout the year. So that'll be through contacting staff or submitting a request through the member community, which will show us that as we get closer and share how that'll work. And then I mentioned this last week, so I'll touch on it again. As part of that automatic system tracking, there is an on-time renewal incentive. So, the goal is just to motivate our leaders to renew by September 30th of the membership year. If a troop leader or co-leader has not gotten around to renewing all of their girls, like, the system will not take their spots. But if they've told us that they will, hold 12, and on October 1st no one's been renewed, then those full 12 spots will open. So a troop co-leader could end up with more girls than what they ideally want. if they don't renew on time. So it's just incentive to get those renewals in by the end of September, which I think is pretty reasonable, and it'll just encourage them to have those conversations sooner. And this will be a later council communications, but Jody is planning some renewal hubs in July and August to also help with that, both getting people excited about using the new system and helping them use the new system, but again, educating them on the renewal piece of the catalog. So as a part of that, we are working through and finalizing the processes and pieces of how we're going to support the opportunity catalogs. So who's going to build it and who's going to own creating new troops versus facilitating the request for more spots in existing troops. So you know, and we're working through like when we'll be building out troops in the catalog. So certainly, you know, during recruitment events, both to support our staff recruitment events, but also to support service unit volunteer and leader recruitment events. We'll also be able to facilitate creating these opportunities when someone calls in and says, hey, I want to be a co-leader, let's get started. Like, we'll be able to create that opportunity right there on the spot. We're doing some council customization, finalizing the naming conventions, and we're going to stick with the current format from eBiz, which is Troop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without a space. So we'll be keeping that format. That's not as important to, you know, troop management, but we just want to share that we're keeping that look and feel from a database migration standpoint. And so we'll be sharing more of these processes and the details behind them in April and May. So what troops are displayed? So all troops are going to be displayed in the opportunity catalog unless they currently meet the 12-girl minimum. They don't want to be. This is not a mandatory piece. So again, they'll be able to tell us via email, phone, or the web form. And then we'll be sending out opt-out email reminders coming in April. And those will be, just a reminder, because troops can opt out and opt in at any point. And so, of course, and troops who want to be. So you don't have to have 12 girls if you want 24 girls. I mean, of course, they'll have to meet the adult-girl ratio. But it is, for a troop that only has 5 but is willing to support 3 more, then those troops can go in the opportunity catalog and there'll be 3 open spots. So it's very flexible. And yeah, and then of course, as girls register into the troops, the system updates those number of availabilities, and the troop co-leaders will get an email notifying them immediately. And you know, that'll be one way that people learn about this new feature. We're certainly trying to put as much communication out there as we can, but there are going to be people that miss the emails or the service unit meeting, and so you know, they'll get that email, and it'll be, you know, kind of a, hey, what's this? And that'll engage the conversation as well. And so how do you get out of the opportunity catalog? So again, the opt-out and opt-in emails from staff. So it's just a matter of letting us know when you want to be out. And it's not a long or difficult process. So if you don't want to be in the catalog, or you have 12 girls and you've got 2 adults and you're not going to show, why does the information need to be correct? So as part of the whole customer engagement initiative, all of the features are connected, and it all comes back down to that new membership database. So it's going to, whatever that data that we're using to build out the opportunity catalog is also building out each person's member community and then their volunteer toolkit experience. So it's all connected. And so again, highlight of the main features. So the member community is the registration and renewal piece. Volunteer toolkit is for troop planning and programming, and troop and volunteer opportunity catalogs is for placement, and then we're working just to improve our customer service tools and processes. So you also do not have to be in the troop volunteer catalog and the troop opportunity catalog, or sorry, the volunteer opportunity catalog and the troop opportunity catalog. You can be in one or both. We can increase, decrease, or remove troops completely from the catalog at any point. If a girl doesn't meet your specific troop needs, this goes to the importance of putting some qualifiers and putting some details in your troop description. And of course, when you reach out to the girl and you welcome them and their parent, then you want to cover some of those specifics, and of course, contact staff. And we've added the opportunity frequently asked questions onto the CEI webpage as well, and that has some really extensive information. So I'll stop there. Any more questions or concerns? All right. So I unfortunately stopped or did not record the first half of this presentation. So what I'm going to do is start over. And Bonnie joined us at about the time when I started, so she'll get to listen to that. And so if there's no other questions for you, Janet, you are welcome to go. And same for Jody and Terry. Just a reminder, next week, next Thursday, Jennifer Pfister will be facilitating the council communications, and it'll be a deep dive into the volunteer toolkit.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Janet. And, please reach out anytime and share the PowerPoint presentation deck.
I definitely will. I'm going to try and get together with my service unit folks, other people who lead it this week and have lunch. Well, not this week, next week now. But and just talk to them about it. And our next service unit meeting is towards the end of March, so it'll be a good time to have all these pieces together, be able to talk to all the folks, all the current leaders, and just let them know here's what you can expect and sort of the timeline. So I really appreciate you doing all this now, and it'll be helpful for them to hear all this.
Absolutely. And if you do think this is beneficial, post on whatever Facebook, social community, so that people, understand that there's some value in it and can attend, because we want to get this out to as many people as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, and I'll see you all next week.
Thanks, Janet. Okay, so.
Thanks, Megan. I'm going to sign off unless you need me.
Okay, thanks, Terry. No, I'm good.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Thanks.
Yes,
same thing. Great job. Great job, Megan.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in, ladies.
Have a good evening.
Bye, Jessie.
Bye.
All right, so I'm going to stay on, Bonnie, and if you'd like to, because as I mentioned, I didn't record the very beginning of this call, so I'm just going to finish. I'm going to re-record it for future callers. So,
Okay.
our audiences. All right. So, overview, going to explain the difference between the troop versus the volunteer opportunity catalog, how it affects existing versus potential troops, the catalog management in the pre-CEI and post-CEI world. And then so I'll start with the benefits. the main goal is to allow customers direct access to the opportunities in Virginia Skyline. A whole list of available troops near them. They'll be able to search by their zip code, and that way, customers can see right away if there are, troops that meet on Mondays or troops that meet on Wednesdays, and which ones work best for them, and they can make that decision right from the beginning. Additionally, it's a tool to free up staff and our service unit leaders from placement. So it will connect potential girls and volunteers directly to the troops that need them, and find opportunities that are specific to their preferences. And that way, staff and service unit leaders can focus more on recruitment and volunteer support of those new troop leaders. So then from a little further with the customer versus the council use. So for our customers, will be the new customers. So for them, again, they'll be able to find opportunities near them. And that's just a better customer experience to directly access what they're looking for instead of calling staff who then, or being connected to service unit leadership who then need to connect with troop leaders and make sure that they have openings, and are they, and then is the grade level right? And so it's going to just be a much easier customer experience, I think, for both new girls and adults, and for those supporting them. For existing troops, they'll be able to advertise their needs. So I've heard of a lot of troops who would love to take more girls, but there's no way to get the word out, and this is going to allow them to get the word out. Or we need volunteers. I'm sure there are tons of troops that need volunteers, and this will allow them to advertise one or both. And again, for staff, so it's going to reduce the time spent on manual placement, and then it's going to help create this extensive information, accurate information of troops, how many people are in them, and who they're looking for, and they'll be able to help co-leaders and potential volunteers and parents as well. So we're differentiating the troop opportunity catalog and the volunteer opportunity catalog because they are, indeed, they're separate. And so if you're a troop that has really active parents and you could use a couple more girls, but you don't need any more adults, you can just display a certain number of openings that you want to support. Or if you've got plenty of girls, but you need drivers, you need chaperones, you'll be able to display those specific opportunities in the volunteer catalog. So you won't have to be, if you're looking for girls, that doesn't mean you're going to have to take on adults or vice versa. So it's kind of a nice option. And of course, you can be in both if you need both. So then the experience for established troops, so again, your spots will only be those that you're looking for. You won't, if you have 12 girls, there won't be 12 open spots showing. If you have 12 girls that you're willing to take on 2 more, then only 2 spots will show. Similar for volunteers. It'll only be advertising what you need. And then for potential troops, these are going to be ones that recruiters, both staff recruiters, will use before they go into an event, or we will also have some kind of empty troops in high potential areas, so the urban areas, or where we know there's a school that always puts together troops. We'll have some that are waiting at all times, but there's definitely going to be a balance of, we don't want to have a lot of troops that don't have volunteers, so we're going to, the staff will be really careful about it, but service unit recruiters will work with us as well to make sure that we have troop opportunities for those events. And then and those processes will be shared as we get closer. So what does the public see in the opportunity catalog? So only troop spots or volunteer spots that are open. They'll see the troop description. So the council has a basic one for each program level that we'll provide if we haven't gotten any unique details. So, you know, this is what daisies do, and brownies, this is, come be a, you know, brownie girl. But we're highly encouraging troop co-leaders to provide unique descriptions. So again, customer experience, a parent who knows that their daughter is very artistic and is not interested in rock climbing can look at that description right away and identify that, okay, that's probably not the best fit for me. So giving us unique descriptions will make sure you get girls that are the best fit for your troop. And a generic meeting location will be shown, but nothing, no specific address. So it'll be, you know, like serving Elkton Elementary School or serving the local church. And so that specific information will be available in the Troops Volunteer Toolkit, but not to the public. This way, though, parents will be able to make sure that they're choosing something either at their daughter's school, or, you know, it'll help them find something that fits their needs and what's closest to where they live, and all those different attributes. All right, so the new customer experience, I just want to show you what it's all going to look like. So for a new, for a parent that's looking for a troop for their daughter, they'll come to the website, and then this is using another council's website, but I just want to show what it's going to look like. They've already moved over to CEI, to Sierra Nevada. And so when you click Get Started, the first step is going to be this girl registration form. Just asking for the girl's name, zip code, grade, then the parent's name, and email and phone. This is not so much for the opportunity catalog. This is a part of our new customer service. So right now when someone registers on eBiz, we don't get an email that tells us anything about them, and people often get lost if they choose the wrong council or the wrong council. So this way we'll be able to track them. As soon as they hit continue, it'll take them to the girl opportunity catalog, and you can see they'll be able to type in the troop number. So if they know their best friend is in a troop and they want to join, they can look for it right here, or they can search by zip code. The other good part with the troop number, that will support recruitment events. So before service unit recruiters or staff recruiters go into a recruitment event, you want to make sure that we have a troop opportunity that will support your event, so that at that event you walk through that first page and you have them choose that specific troop right then and there, and then you can keep everyone together. So you'll see that when you type in that number, you get a lot of information. You'll be able to see, if you search by zip code, you'll be able to see how far away their meeting location is based on your zip code. There's a title, and this is where your troop description comes in. If you click that, it'll, you know, so this one is a cadet troop, and you know, this is more probably of a generic, this is kind of a generic description, but gives them an idea of what cadets are doing. You'll also be able to see the grade. So this one is, you know, this multi-level that supports K through 5, or this cadet troop just has 7th graders. This is the generic location description, so it's just got the middle school. or kind of near a wildlife refuge, the days of the week that they meet, the day and time, how many openings are in that troop, and then how many volunteers are needed. I'll also clarify that if there are no troops in the area yet, there will always be our unsure bucket here. And this will become our new waiting list for the staff. And we have new staff roles that are who are responsible for checking this unsure list every day. And I'll also let you know that if there aren't any troops and they don't want to register for unsure and they're not an individually registered member and they walk away at this point, the information that we captured on this page will be in our new system, and we'll be able to contact that parent and say, hey, you know, Mary Jo looks, you know, she's in the 4th grade and I've got just a troop for her, or we don't have one that'll meet her needs, and then you can start the conversation about bringing them on as a co-leader potentially, starting a troop. So that's the way the opportunity catalog looks. And actually, let me go back really quick, and I'll show you the adult experience. So similarly, they'll go to the web page. It will take them to this volunteer piece. This is the adult, kind of what we call the online interest form, just the basic minimal information. And then it'll take them to the volunteer role search. And it looks very similar to the troop catalog, but this is the volunteer catalog, and you can see the differences where there were troop numbers. This is now going to be the specific type of volunteer roles needed. And again, you know, if I'm a volunteer that can only meet on Thursday and Fridays, then this is going to be the one that works for me. Or, you know, Saturdays are the best days for me, then I can choose this troop. I can be a camper. All right. Then the next piece, there are additional registration pieces after they select a troop, but from here I'll go to, you know, let's say they've chosen a troop and they register. So what happens for the troop leader? Someone registers for your troop. You're going to receive an email with the girl's name, her parents' information, phone number, and email. So that information that we got on that first page, and a reminder to welcome the new parent and girl. Additionally, the parent will receive a confirmation email confirming what troop number they registered to, but the difference is we're not planning to give the parent the troop co-leader's contact information. I asked Janet Miller and the first time around, and she had confirmed that she thought that was a pretty good experience. So I'll just ask if you have any concerns about that, or if you agree that it's best for the troop co-leader to have the contact information of the parent.
Whether the troop leader gets their info's given to the parent? Is that the question?
As of right now, we're planning not to give the troop co-leader or leader's information to the parents on the initial email.
Correct. I agree firmly.
Okay. Good. Great. Okay, so I'll stop right there for a moment. Do you have any questions? Want me to go back on anything so far?
No.
Okay.
I could not get logged in for like forever. My computer kept saying something about, they had to check out, what is it, global go-to meeting to make sure it was safe.
Yeah,
many firewalls.
I know.
But anyway, it's finally up, and now that when I decided I'm just going to make the phone call, and now it's like, good grief. And I couldn't get it to download on my tablet at all, so I'm on the desktop computer, and I
That's
can
okay.
see everything.
I mean, it works out because I didn't start recording until about halfway, so I am. That's why I'm going back through this for a bit.
No, it looks
All right.
good.
All right, I've got a couple more slides then I'll touch on.
Okay.
Okay, so the next question is, how do I update my information now versus once we make the switch to the new CEI world in June? So right now, we have to pull the information from eBiz, and then we're going to into an Excel file. It's very staff intensive, and the staff are working really hard to get all this information up. So for right now, we're doing a lot of outreach, and we're asking for updated troop and membership information, and we have some forms that they've been sending out. And once we get this finished, and we need that information up until May. So once we make the switch, everyone will be able to update their information and make requests to change it in their the new membership community, which will be where they do their registration, renewal, and troop renewal. And of course, they'll be able to contact staff at any point, and staff will be able to make those changes as well. There'll be some more details about that coming, but the one piece is that service unit teams won't be able to update the opportunity catalog information. You'll of course be able to pass that request along if needed, but I think once existing and new troop co-leaders get into the system, they'll really enjoy being in there. It's a lot easier than eBiz is currently.
Right.
So the ongoing management, again, from now until May, staff is just trying to make sure we've got the most up-to-date information, so please email that. Afterwards, the system will automatically keep track of everything. So if a troop has 5 girls and they're willing to take on 3 more, we'll have 3 open spots in the troop opportunity catalog. Once 3 girls registers, as each girl fills those 3 spots, those spots will be taken away from the catalog so that they don't get any more than the 8 that they've requested. And then similarly, the system automatically updates it if at the end of the troop year, one of those girls isn't going to come back, then so if the co-leader doesn't or has renewed those 7, then only 1 spot will show back up in the opportunity catalog. And of course, troop co-leaders will be able to request updates throughout the year. And staff will reach out during renewal. We'll send reminders and how's your troop doing? Do you need more girls? Do you need more volunteers? That kind of thing.
Right.
So I think one of the cool pieces, so we have a new system. It's easier to use. It's more fun to use. And so there's an on-time renewal incentive. So while the system also, if the troop has 8 girls and only 7 renew, and the system knows to open up that 1 spot, and vice versa, if the co-leader doesn't, if the co-leader doesn't renew any of those girls by September 30th, then the system will think that the troop needs 8 new girls. So there's the potential for 8 new girls to join. The system does hold spots for those original girls so that they never lose their spot. The incentive is for troop co-leaders that don't want larger troops than what they, than their ideal. So staff will be reaching out, will, sending renewal reminders, and we're also going to create renewal, what we're calling renewal hubs in July. Jody's working on that to make sure that we facilitate these conversations and get people comfortable with the new system and just get people renewing on time.
And what happens if parents don't renew their girls on time?
So the same thing, but troop co-leaders can renew girls.
They can renew them, but if the parent hasn't paid their registration, how does that work?
Well, I believe, yeah, so they'll be able to, either their troop funds, or if, so the only way for parents to pay online is through a credit card. So I believe the system would charge that parent's credit card, but that is a good question, and I will confirm that.
I can see some troops, particularly, soccer in the fall. Some troops really don't get started until October because, say, 3 of the girls are playing soccer, and if the troop doesn't normally register their girl, or register or pay for their registration, then they're really not up and running, or won't be on this system until after soccer.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay.
Soccer's
Yeah.
a big thing in the fall, but I can certainly recall that happening with troops.
Mm-hmm. I will find that out. They may not be able to renew the girl, and so if she was a member, like let's just use this year for example. So if she's a member now and she's active, then that troop will always have a spot for her, if the parent doesn't register her until the fall or renew her until the fall. The spot will always be there. But if the troop leader doesn't, if there's not enough troop funds to cover her renewal, and there's no way to get her renewed until November, December, then her spot will still be there.
Probably won't be a lot of that happens with older girls, so I can see those troops not getting filled up, shall we say.
Yeah.
Whereas the younger troops, if you didn't register 3 girls, that troop could get 3 new girls.
Yeah.
So are you going to
but it's still a good
3 girls out, or are you going to say you got to have more leaders?
Yeah. Well, and I think the staff would absolutely help, try and get the more leaders. That's definitely the ideal scenario.
Yeah.
But worst case, if it was just not doable, then staff would have to figure out, reach out to those parents and try and get a new troop.
Yeah, and maybe it won't be a problem, because that usually happens with older girl troops,
Mm-hmm.
cadets.
Still a good question, and I'll look into it for sure.
Okay.
Okay. So right now we're finalizing a lot of those supporting processes. So creating those kind of empty troops to support recruitment, or potential troops, I should say, to support recruitment efforts, versus how we'll facilitate creating just new openings or closing openings, and when to build. So we'll certainly build before recruitment efforts, and when people call in as they need and say, hey, I want to be a co-leader, because we're still going to support, absolutely going to support customer communication through phone, email, and establishing kind of how we're going to assign troop numbers, and then we're developing some roles that will be focused specifically on placement. So managing that catalog and helping new co-leaders get started. And we'll share more of those roles and how those processes will work as we get closer.
Right.
So what troops are displayed in the opportunity catalog? So basically, all troops will be in the opportunity catalog unless they currently meet the 12-girl minimum. So if you've got 12 girls and 2 leaders, then there's, we're not going to show you in the catalog. Also, if you don't want to be, no one has to be in the troop opportunity catalog or the volunteer opportunity catalog. So that's what staff is reaching out, and we'll be sending emails in April. So only troops that want to be in the catalog, and all 12 is just the suggested minimum. So like I said earlier, if you only want 8 girls, then you can support, and you have 5 currently, then you only have to have 3 spots open in that catalog. It does not mean you have to have 12. On the other side, if you've got 3 co-leaders and you want to support, 18 girls, that's absolutely okay too. So it's very flexible. And if you decide this turn you don't want to be in it, and then a couple months into the year you lose 2 girls, you just let us know, and you can get right back in there. So it's very flexible. So how do I get out of the opportunity catalog? So you'll look for the opt-out reminders and emails from staff in April, and then of course you can just contact us directly, or to both get out or get back in to either the troop catalog or the volunteer catalog. And so this is, I think we've gone through all this again, but I'll just repeat this last piece. So if I'm not in the catalog, why does my information need to be correct? Because it builds the information for your toolkit, and in the staff customer service system, and then your member community. So I'll stop there. I've definitely gotten.
Did I
Yeah.
miss part of your troop will be in the catalog? Will your troop be listed as a Daisy Brownie troop, or will it be listed as a multi-age level troop? Will it be listed as just a Daisy troop? Or can I say I want Daisy only in 1st grade?
You can, so are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, McAfee is saying issues found.
Oh, okay. No worries. So I just wanted to, so you can display.
Next something with this big McAfee.
Oh, okay, it's in the way.
Says web
but
rep. Wasn't like this. See if I can X it out. Okay, I got you. I can see everything now.
Okay, so this is what it'll look like. So you can specify. It doesn't necessarily say Daisy Brownie Jr., but yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
so if it just
says
says
the whole range.
Hey, then they only want kindergartners.
Mm-hmm. And then the parents can click on that, the troop number. Yeah. So this troop loves to camp and earn fun patches. And so the council, we're going to provide sort of, just generic descriptions for each of the levels, but we really encourage the troop co-leaders to let us know any particulars so that, a camping troop doesn't get a girl that only likes to paint, or something, or vice versa.
Well, I was going to say, kindergartners don't usually go camping.
Yeah.
They love to camp. Yeah, and they would love to camp if Mom goes with them. Okay, I got it.
Any other questions?
Nope, can't think of any.
All right. Well, I recorded this. It's a little backwards, but and then we'll send out the recording, and you can share that with with your service unit leaders and volunteers, and just the big thing right now, Bonnie, is we need to get their most accurate information. So
right. Well,
yeah.
The little troop that I have associated with 1060, we got the real leader of that group. She got the email, and she had the printout, and we checked girls' info and leader info at our last meeting. So
Great.
hopefully I have not heard. I can specifically ask other troop leaders if they have done this, but how will you know if they haven't done it?
Oh, so the form, we're able to access the responses to the form. It puts it into a kind of an Excel document, and so then the staff uses that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, and
thank you so much.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time and patience.
Absolutely. And every Thursday, 7 to 8, and please, anytime you've got questions, like don't hesitate to ask.
Okay. Well, so are every Thursday, are there different little topics, or?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
so each week there'll be a different topic.
Different topic. Okay. So if I missed the last week because we had our team meeting, how would I know what was on that one?
So let's see. That should be on. So we've got a CEI webpage. It's just gsvsc.org, and you can just type in /CEI. And I believe, yeah. So Jennifer has. Whoop, so.
Okay. So I could
so
go, a leader or me or whoever could go back and listen to these.
Yeah. Yep. We'll have them listed at the bottom of our CEI page.
Okay. All righty.
All right. Well, I will see you around then.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Bye-bye.